So here's something I feel very strongly about. I think y'all will find this one interesting. So when it comes to playing bass, a lot of people just pick up any bass they can find. It's a reasonable price. They just take it home. They probably, most of the times, they don't restring it. And, that's understandable because bass strings are expensive. And, they go and play a song like Paint It Black. They're just like... And, they don't really pay attention to what kind of strings they're using. A lot of the songs in the 60s, well actually, every song in the 60s that came out, the bass players, they always used flat-wound strings because that was all that was available back then. They didn't have round wounds, which have a lot more of a ring to them. These do sound a bit, deadened, but it's definitely a great way to achieve the vintage sound. And something that I've absolutely picked up on is when it comes to people doing covers of I'm a Man by Chicago, which, by the way, is not, that's not a Chicago song, it's a Steve Winwood song. But Chicago took it and just ran with it, and it's pretty amazing, what they did with it, because they used to be a cover band, they were making a name for themselves by being a show band, doing top 40, because that was what you had to do back then. So, they exploded into this, this rendition of I'm a Man, which was, incredible, and it had a very thunderous bass line to start with it that was played by Peter Cetera. But all the time, I see and hear people covering this song, including the current lineup of Chicago, and they're not using flat-wound bass strings, and it just drives me crazy. Like, even Leonid and Friends, their bass player, he didn't go and get flat-wounds to play this song, which, I understand. Flat-wounds are expensive. Round-wounds are expensive, but flat-wounds are even more expensive. They cost, like, twice the price of round wounds, so I can completely understand that. But it's so worth it. Once you play with it a little bit, like most people, they just pick up a bass, they don't really think about it, but in order to get that vintage sound, I think flat wounds are a must-have, because instead of having that ring, you want to have So yeah, that sounds a lot better than using round wounds, and pretty much any song from the 60s and 70s, the early 70s, you're gonna hear songs that were made with the bass player playing with flat wound strings. Like, if you want to do Feeling Stronger Every Day, you got... stuff like that. Absolutely, I would say flat wounds are imperative to have. So, absolutely, step back. If you got a lot of songs that you're playing that were played in the early 70s or 60s or anywhere before that or around that time, definitely think, would it be worth it to get flat wound strings? And, well, don't even think about it, just go and get them. Because I think you will find it worthwhile when you spend the money to get these. And I played Good Vibrations on this, and it sounds amazing. I absolutely love the way that it sounds. Just even if you wanted to do Surfer Girl, you could do that. It's just, once you get into the world of, flat wound strings, it's just it's a whole different world. It's a whole different ball game than playing with round wounds. And, you can, it's even better on your fingers, like I said. You can probably play for longer, even if you don't use a pick. But it sounds amazing with a pick. It sounds so much more percussive. I've just fallen in love with the way the flat wounds sound. And the ones that I'm playing with, these are called labellas. And they are absolutely smooth to the touch. And, you don't get that, that distortion sound where, they can hear you moving up the string. It's very, very quiet. Whereas on a round wound string, you'll definitely hear if you slide up the string. Everyone will hear it, trust me. These, you don't hear it at all because of just how buttery smooth they are. So it's, it's a lot. It does cost a lot of money, but it's very worth it. And your fingers will thank you. So anyways, that's it. I'm done with this video. So thank y'all for listening, thank y'all for watching, and take this into consideration. I really think you'll find it worthwhile to, even if you've never tried flat wounds, definitely, see if your local music store has a bass that has flat wound strings on it, and try it out, and I'm sure you will love it. If not the sound, then the way the strings feel. I got to try out a Fender jazz bass. I've gotten to try out a few of them that had flat wound strings on. They weren't labellas, I can tell you that. They felt way, way smoother. Because with these, you can kind of feel the edges, because they actually wrap it with some sheet metal, some very thin strip. They wrap it all the way around. And then round wound strings, they just wrap it with a wire. And that's how it's got that rough texture. It's much rougher than this. So yeah, absolutely go and try it out. Even if you don't like it, you'll know. And try it on a fretless bass too. It's really nice. You know, flat wound strings on a fretless bass. You know, the first fretless bass line really was Paint It Black. So, yeah, get out there and try it out. And let me know what you think.